Good morning, class. Welcome to the physics online classes for class 9th. We were learning about the chapter gravitation in the previous session. So, just give a quick revision for the topics which we have read in the gravitation chapter. Right? What we have read in the previous class, that what the gravitational force is, what do you mean by the acceleration due to gravity, what are the Kepler's law of planetary motion, and what do you mean by the free falling object or a free falling body. Right? What we have learned that whenever a body produces motion or a body is moving, then some external force should be applied. And we are living on the earth and we are doing many of the motions. So some force is acting on us that is exerted by the earth. And this force was named as the gravitational force. So what we know about that force, that earth is exerting some force on that object, and that too in the downward direction, that is towards the center of the earth. And it is a form of attractive force because it attracts each and every object towards the center of the earth. So we can define this gravitational force as the force which is exerted on the object by the earth. That force of attraction is known as gravitational force. And which example can we tell about this gravitation? We know the easiest example, that Isaac Newton was sitting in a garden under an apple tree. You can see this in the figure, that when he sat under the tree, an apple fall from the tree. And he examined that that object is falling towards the downward direction, that is towards the earth. What does it means? That some force is exerted on that object, and that force is also the attractive force, and therefore that name was gravitational force, because the force of attraction exerted by the earth is known as gravitational force, right? And we have seen many more examples, that the river of the water also come towards the earth, rainfall from the sky also come towards the downward of the earth, right? So we can say that the force is acting towards the center of the earth in the downward direction, right? And after that we have seen what is the universal law of gravitation. The universal law of gravitation was given by Newton. What did he told? That every body in the universe attracts every other body with a force, right? Every body is attracted towards the other body, and that too due to the force. And this force was given by the capital F. And what we can say about that force, that this force is directly proportional to the product of the two masses. In the figure, the masses were given by m1 and m2, and these two objects were kept at the distance of r. So distance between these two objects is r. So what the force tells us, that force is directly proportional to the product of these two masses. So what we can write, that force is directly proportional to m1 m2. The sign which is given between the f and m1 is proportional sign. So we will say that it is a directly proportional. And we know that the distance between the two bodies is given by r, then this force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance. That is, it will be 1 upon r square. If something is written in the denominator, then we can say that these are inversely proportional. This means that if one quantity increases, then the other quantity should decrease, and if one quantity decreases, then the other quantity should increase. This means that inversely proportional. And by combining these two equations, what we can write, that f is equals to m1 m2 upon r square. And we know, to change this proportionality sign into the equal sign, some constant should come. Here, since it is universal law of gravitation, the constant was given by universal gravitational constant, which is denoted by the letter capital G. So we can write this expression as f is equals to g m1 m2 upon r square. Now for finding the value of g, how can we relate this equation? As g is equals to f r square upon m1 m2. By this we can find the unit of the gravitational constant. What is the unit of the gravitational constant is given by, since we have used the word f, that is the force, and the unit of force is Newton. And after that, what is written in between the force and r square, it is m1 m2. So there are two masses, so the unit will be kg square, and for r square it will be meter square. So on the numerator we can see f r square, it means Newton meter square, and in the denominator it is given as m1 m2, that is the product of masses. So it is given by kg square. So we can say that Newton meter square per kg square, it is the unit for the gravitational constant, right? And what is the acceleration due to gravity? We know that whenever a body is exerted by the earth's gravitational force, then it increases its velocity or decreases, but there is a varying velocity, and this varying velocity is said to be acceleration, right? And this acceleration is due to the force of earth. So we can say that it has a acceleration due to gravity, right? What are the values for the G, capital G, that is the gravitational force, and small g, that is the acceleration due to gravity. It can be written as capital G is given by 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11, and its unit is Newton meter square per kg square. Right? Now we will see the value of the small g, that is small g is given by 9.8 meter per second square. Since it is acceleration due to gravity, so the unit will be also of the acceleration, that is meter per second square. So we will use in the numericals. When you will be going through the numericals, you will understand these values, how we are keeping in it, right? So both the values are g is equals to 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11, which is given by Newton meter square per kg square, and g is given by 9.8 meter per second square. Got it? Now we have read that what is the free falling body is. That whenever a body is falling, but due to only the gravitational force, like if we throw an object or we allow an object to drop inside the earth like that, then the force is not acting on that object. The only force acting on it is the gravitational force. For example, in this figure we can see that bungee jumper, right? He is jumping from the height and he is falling down, but only gravitational force is acting on it. He is not external any other forces influencing him, and not he is using any other kind of force. So only force acting on him is gravitational force. So what free fall means? The falling of an object or a body from a height towards the earth or the center of the earth due to the influence of the gravitational force, but no other force is acting on it. So then that is known as the free fall, and that object will be said as the free falling body. Okay. So now we will see the new topic which we are going to read in this session is mass and weight. We are already familiar with this words, that is mass and weight, but we used to think that this mass and weight are same words. But now we will differentiate that these both are different in terms, in the units, and in the definitions. Right? So we will see what this means, mass and weight. Okay? So let us define this mass, what it means. Mass of a body is the quantity of a matter or material contained in it. What does it mean? So if we take any object, then the particles inside it, that is contained in it or it is constituted with, is said to be the quantity of that matter, and the quantity present inside it will give the value of mass. So if I take an example of the human body, inside the human body bones are present, muscles are present, and we know that the 60% of our body is due to the water. So the mass is also given by the water. So all the constituents which are present inside our body are the quantity of matter, and this quantity of matter tells us about the mass of our body. Whether this mass of a body can be changed? No, because inside the materials which are present inside of our body, if we take an example of a human body, whether these bodies can be emptied? No, because the particles cannot be emptied, so the mass cannot be zero. So we can say that mass is constant. Why? Because whenever we move an object from one place to another place, or we take an object from one country to another country, whether that mass of an object changes? No, right? So the mass cannot be varied. So what points we know about this mass? That mass of a body is the quantity of a matter contained in it, first thing. Second thing, that mass is constant, it does not changes from place to place, or it does not vary. And the last thing, that the mass of a body cannot be zero. And now what we measure the mass in? It is measured in the form of kgs. It is the SI unit of mass is kilogram. So what we know about the mass? That mass is the quantity of matter itself. It does not depend on any other things. Okay. If it is emptied, then the mass also will be there. It cannot be zero. So mass does not depend on the other values. It depends on the quantity of matter. It does not vary because it is a constant value. It does not changes from one place to another. The mass of the body cannot be zero. Now we will see weight, so that you can differentiate between the mass and the weight. Now we know that every gravitational force that is acting on an object allows to attract that towards the center of the earth, that is acting in the downward direction. So some gravitational pull is acting. So the weight of the body is due to the force that the body is attracted towards the center of the force, right? Center of the earth, that is the force acting due to the earth, right? The force of earth's gravity is acting on our body. So this force can be given as the product of mass and the acceleration, that is the speed of that force, that how it is attracting the object and how speed is attracting the object. So we can just define this weight as the force. So we can say that it is due to the gravitational pull, so we can say that weight is a kind of force, but mass was the quantity of a matter. So this is the main difference between both, that in the weight body is under the influence of the gravity, but for the mass it cannot be zero, but weight can be zero. Why? Now we'll see the derive, that how the force is given by, right? Because it is due to the gravitational force, so we can write it as force is equals to mass into acceleration, and this acceleration will be also due to the gravity, so we will use the word small g, right? So how can we write this now? F is equals to mg, because g is the acceleration due to gravity and m is the mass, that is the quantity of the matter which we have learned earlier, right? So now this force is due to the gravity, so now this force can be said as weight, that is given by the letter capital W, and the mass is given by the letter small m, so it is denoted by small m, and weight is denoted by the capital W. So W can be written as mg, so product of mass and the acceleration due to gravity, and the value of the weight is 9.8 meter per second square. It is due to the gravity, that's why. And if we consider that the mass of an object is 1 kg, then the product of 1 and the 9.8 meter second square is will given by 9.8 newtons. And why this newton is used? Because the mass is the scalar quantity, but the acceleration due to gravity is given by the meter per second square, and together it is given the value of force. So force unit is Newton, so weights unit will also be Newton. So what we have learned, that the acceleration due to gravity acts on the weight itself, not on the mass. And what the gravity is given by, it is m into g, so this will be the value for the W, okay? And small m is the mass of the object, right? So mass is measured in the kgs, and what the weight is measured in, it is measured in newtons. Why? Because weight is a kind of force which is influenced by the gravity. Got it? So we will see an example, then you will understand what the mass and the weight is. We have said that the mass cannot vary because it is a constant, and it cannot be zero also, but we can say that weight can be zero and can vary also. We will see, here you can see the figure, right? Who is he? He is an astronaut which is in the space, right? Whenever the astronauts went into the space, we have seen somewhere the videos that the astronauts always used to fly in the space, right? Why this happened? Because the gravity is not acting outwards the earth, means if you went out the earth, that is in the universe anywhere, the acceleration due to gravity will be zero, that is the gravitational force is not acting on that object. So astronaut will feel as a weightless, means the gravity is zero, so only mass is present in that body, because mass cannot be zero. Because the mass cannot be zero, so weight can be zero, but why? Because the acceleration due to gravity is zero, and we know that weight is given by mg, right? And if g is zero, because he is out of the earth in the space, so m into 0 will be 0. Whatever the mass of the body will be, but the weight will be 0. We can say that weight can be 0, but mass cannot be 0 anywhere. Okay? So next, we will see a tabular form, that what the mass and the weight differentiate each other. So see the points, you will understand better. First thing, the mass of an object is the quantity of a matter contained in it. We have already said that whatever the quantity is present inside an object, that is the mass of the object. And what the weight means, weight of an object is a kind of force with which it is attracted towards the center of the earth. Means it is attracted towards the center of the earth when some gravitational force is acting and allowing the body to accelerate towards the center of the earth. So weight of a body is a kind of force. What is the SI unit for the mass? The SI unit of the mass is kilogram, and the SI unit of weight is Newton. So, and what the other point tells us, the mass of an object is constant, it does not vary, but the weight of an object can vary, and it depends on the value of the acceleration, that what the g will, that will tell the weight of the body. Okay, and the mass of an object can never be zero, you know it, because the mass can never be zero, but the weight can be zero if the acceleration due to gravity will be zero. That means the gravitational influence is absent, then the weight of the body can be zero. Have you got the difference between the mass and the weight? Now you can say that mass and weight are not same. Both cannot be measured in kgs. Mass is the unit for kg, and for the weight the unit we use is Newton because it is a kind of force and it is only present when the acceleration due to gravity or the gravitational force is exerted by the earth on an object. Okay. So the next topic what we are going to learn is, we know that the free falling bodies are the bodies which are falling downwards or towards the earth, but it is only due to the gravitation, not any other forces acting on that object. So we can say the equations of motion for freely falling bodies. Now we know the equations for the motion. We have learned in this first chapter that there are the three equations of motion which were v is equals to u plus at, second one s is equals to ut plus half at square, and the third one v square is equals to u square plus 2s. You can see in the figure also general equations of motion, right? But now we are talking about the motion due to the free falling body, that is due to the influence of the gravity. So how can we tell this? We will change these equations under the influence of the gravity. Now what we will change? We know that when we are talking about v is equals to u plus at, what v denotes, it is the final velocity, and what u is, it is initial velocity, s is the displacement, t is the time, and a is acceleration. But now it is under the influence of the gravity, so we will change the acceleration into the acceleration due to gravity. So a will be written as small g, which is the acceleration due to gravity. And when we are going through the linear motion, then we used to cover some distance and the displacement is given by small s. But now we will allow the body to fall from the height, or we will allow the body to move upward or in the vertically upward direction. So we will cover the height, not the distance or the displacement. So now we will change this s into h and this a will be changes into g. So like all the other things will be as to as, but only the changing object will be a and g, that is s into h. Okay. Now we will see some points that how this will change the numerical, because in the linear motion also we have read some numericals, but there we will be using the equations of motion, but now equations of motion of the freely falling bodies. So we will use some points. What these points are, that we know that the acceleration due to gravity is due to the gravitational force, so it always acts in the downward direction. If the directions are opposites, then the sign conventions also change. Means if the directions are opposite of any two forces or any two quantities, then they are the negative sign, and if they act in the same direction, then the sign will be positive. Now the first point you can see in the figure, that when a body is falling vertically downwards, that you are dropping an object or it is falling freely, then the vertically downwards it is coming, so its velocity is increasing. You can see whenever you drop a stone from a height, it falls very fast, means the velocity always increases. Why? Because the acceleration due to gravity is trying to increase the acceleration or trying to increase the velocity of that object, and that too towards the center of the earth. So we can say that both the gravity, acceleration due to gravity, and the object's direction is going towards the downward. So both are in the same direction, so we can write it as plus 9.8 meter per second square, because the value of the g is 9.8, right? And the second point what it tells us, that when we allow the body to thrown vertically upwards, then its velocity always decreases. It doesn't mean that it will go slow, but what does it mean? That whenever you allow the body to throw upwards in the vertical direction, then the object will go upward, but to some height, and after that height it will come back. What that means, at the point which it is going to return back, at that point the velocity will be 0. Means we can say that at time final velocity, that is v, will be 0, and the initial velocity should be there because we have to throw, so some velocity should be there to throw an object. So u will be there, but v will be 0 because it is returning back. So it will be 0 at that point from where it is going to return back towards the center of the earth. So now the weight of the object that we are throwing upward is in the upward direction, and the force acting on it, that is acceleration due to gravity, towards downward. So both are in the opposite direction, so we can say that the sign will be the negative. So in the second one, it is written as acceleration due to a gravity for body thrown upwards is given by minus 9.8 meter per second square, right? And we have already told you that whenever a body is fall in downward direction, so the both are in the same direction, so g will be positive, and if it is going upward, then the directions are opposite of both the forces, so it will be negative. Okay, but when we used to throw an object upward direction, so we have to throw it with some velocity. So initial velocity is present, but the final velocity will become 0, because at point it will start returning back. At that point the velocity will be 0, that to the final velocity, not the initial one. But when we used to drop an object from the height, then the initial velocity should be 0, because we does not allow to fall with some velocity, right? We just used to drop it out. But when it is going downwards, its velocity always increases. It is because the acceleration due to gravity. So here the initial velocity is 0, but the velocity v will be some value, whatever the velocity is value through which we are dropping that object. Okay, the last one, the time taken by a body to rise to the highest point. Okay, the time taken by the body, so that we are allowing the body to move upward, then the time taken by the body to raise to that highest point is equal to the time it take to fall from the same height, right? Because we are now we have read the points that whenever we allow the object to move upwards or in the downward direction, velocity changes, but the time will be the same, because whatever the time we have thrown to the upward direction to the highest point, it will reach to the highest point and return back. So that when it is returning back or it is going upward, both the time will be equal. So this points will be useful in the numerical, so you can use this in the numerical. So just by heart this points, that whenever the body goes upwards, it will take some velocity, that is initial velocity will be there, but the final velocity will be 0. And whenever the body is freely falling body, or we are allowing a body to go downwards, or we are dropping an object from the height, then the initial velocity will be 0, because we does not allow the body to drop with some velocity. It just increases its velocity because it is going towards the downward direction. So there the u will be 0, but the velocity's value, that is the final velocity v, will be some value, which will be the value of the stone, what velocity is going in the downward direction. And the last point what we have read, that the time taken by the body to reach to the highest point and returning back to the downward direction will be the same time, or the time taken by the body will be the same. So just take out these points and once see the whole points. If you have any doubts or queries, you can ask me. And thank you, because in the next classes we will be seeing the numericals regarding this equations. In that equations you will be more clear, because this points which are given here, the 5 points, will be used in the numericals. All the theory parts are completed for this chapter. If you are going through the refresher, then after this some points come into the chapter, the thrust and the pressure, but you don't have to learn that points, you can say that thrust and what is the pressure, because that is in the deleted portion according to the syllabus, so you don't have to read that, right? So theory portion have already completed. If you have any doubt, you can ask. And for the numericals, in the next session we will be solving it. Okay, and that numericals will be solved with the help of this equations itself, which are given by the equations of motion for freely falling bodies, and this 5 points will be useful in that numerical. So thank you class.